We finally know what day the Broncos will release their new uniforms. Welcome into your Denver Sports Daily for April 3rd. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel Vigil.
It has been 27 years since the Denver Broncos got new uniforms, and finally we have a date to circle on the calendar when we'll see the new ones. The Denver Broncos set social media abuzz last week when they revealed they'll be getting new uniforms for the 2024 season. Monday, April 22nd will be the reveal. No time was given, but considering the initial tease was dropped at 8 a.m. Mountain Time, a morning unveiling feels very likely. Now we will look as Michael Penix Jr. makes his rounds, and he visited Broncos headquarters yesterday per sources. Penix has picked up momentum since his pro day workout last week. Injury history, Indiana, but 2 clean years at Washington where he combined for 9,544 yards and 67 touchdowns. The Denver Broncos, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, signed yet another player who is familiar with head coach Sean Payton. Offensive guard Calvin Throckmorton inked a 1-year deal with the team on Monday afternoon, providing depth at the offensive line. Throckmorton began his career in New Orleans playing with the Saints, playing under Payton during the 2021 season. He started in 14 of 17 games and would return in 2022 playing in 14 games and earning 6 starts. He then had stints with the Panthers and Titans in 2023, starting 7 total games. And we learned a little bit about his nickname, and that nickname is Doc Throck, because he would like to be an orthopedic surgeon when he's done playing football. Will that stick with Broncos country? That's up to you. Make sure you call him Doc Throck if you want to. Stefon Diggs, this news shook the entire NFL this morning. He is being traded. The Bills will receive a 2025 second-round pick in exchange for Diggs, a 2024 sixth-round pick, and a 2025 fifth-round pick, as he will head to the Houston Texans. The trade comes a day after Diggs responded to a social media user's declaration that he wasn't essential to Bills quarterback Josh Allen's success by replying, "You sure?" Ooh, we love the drama out there, but also, is this a good deal for the Texans? If you're a Texans fan, are you ecstatic about this? Personally, for me, I think that this is going to be a major move down there in Houston, and I think that they could be making a run for the playoffs for sure this year, making a deep run. That's going to be interesting. Now, how many people watched CU take on Iowa? Last year, the game was much closer and got in front of a staggering 1.3 million people. This year, broadcasted on ABC, the game averaged 6.87 million viewers. For perspective here in Denver, that means more folks watch a J.R. Payne's squad on Saturday than watched any single Avalanche Stanley Cup final game against the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2022. The most watched night of that series was Game 6, which got 5.8 million viewers. Deion Sanders Buffs in the Gritty and Draft, over 10 million viewers for their matchup with USC, but even their matchup with Stanford, was down to 3.3 million viewers. Now, that means that the Buffs and Clark were a bigger draw than almost half of the football season this past fall. Most was the TCU game, which had 7.2 million viewers. As for the other big hoops event in town recently, the NBA Finals ranged from 10.41 million to 13.8 million, so it wasn't close to that, but definitely interesting overall. And then you look at the ratings for the NCAA women's tournament, and they are more than double what they were last year. So now what about the Iowa LSU game? That had 12.3 million viewers. It had more than any women's college basketball game ever. The 2023 NBA Finals, the 2023 World Series, the 2023 Orange Bowl, the 2023 Big Ten Championship, the 2023 Cotton Bowl, the 2023 Pac-12 Championship, 2023 Big 12 Championship, the 2023 ACC Championship, the 2023 Peach Bowl, Thursday Night Football, and every single 2023 college football regular season game except for Ohio State versus Michigan. Holy smokes, that list is absolutely insane. Now, Salome Sanders, who is entering the transfer portal according to Buff Zone. Sanders, the daughter of Buffs football coach Deion Sanders, is a redshirt freshman who came to Colorado shortly after her father. The 5'6" guard from Rockwell, Texas, left Jackson State for Boulder in January of 2023. She only played 11 minutes over 5 games this season, scoring 3 points, snagging 3 rebounds, and getting a steal. Now, what about her dad? Well, her dad is definitely on the move, and he added 51-year-old Warren Sapp to the staff as a graduate assistant. 51 years old and a graduate assistant. That essentially paves the way for him to work on the field for the team. He will, in fact, be taking classes, and he introduced himself to the Buffaloes as a senior quality control analyst. My question is, what kind of classes will he be taking up there in Boulder? Does he have to pass? Do you have to have like a C to continue like a lot of the students do up there? Or what is that going to look like? Because at 51, I could tell you, even at 28, I don't want to go back to school. So I'm not exactly sure why Warren Sapp would want to do so. But he went on essentially to tell the team, we're building mansions here when he was introduced via YouTube video. That's why I'm here, to help you build your mansion. Now, the Denver Nuggets are back in first place on Tuesday night, thanks to a little help from an old rival, and that is Joel Embiid. The reigning MVP returned Tuesday after missing all of February and March with a knee injury. And the game he came back for was a home matchup with the Oklahoma City Thunder, who lost in the last minute 109-105 to the Philadelphia 76ers, who got 24 points and some big plays from down the stretch from Embiid. Now, Jake Shapiro was down there at Ball Arena last night as the Denver Nuggets were taking on the San Antonio Spurs, and he's got a nice little recap on it of what the game last night actually looked like. Take a listen.
Jake Shapiro, Denver Sports, and I'm standing here right on the Denver Nuggets bench because it's becoming increasingly clear that the Nuggets bench is going to decide a lot. It's been the entire case with the Nikola Jokic era. Tonight they had a pretty rough night against the San Antonio Spurs, who are the worst team in the Western Conference. Although I was really impressed at the end of the game with Christian Brown making a kick-out pass to MPJ for a game-winning triple. They beat the Spurs. They got past the Spurs. Oh my God, Victor Wembanyama is like amazing. I thought he was going to be good. I've been talking about him for like 3 years. Almost had a quadruple double tonight. A quadruple double, had 9 blocks, was incredible. The future is coming for this league. That future hopefully includes the Nuggets, who are right now in first place again. That's the big news of tonight. The Philadelphia 76ers beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder are out on a back-to-back against Boston on Wednesday as well. SGA is expected to miss that game as well. So the Nuggets go to sleep in first place. They could wind up an entire loss ahead of the Thunder by the time they're back in action Thursday in Los Angeles against the Clippers. So overall good news. Wasn't the prettiest game, but this is March basketball. We don't really care too much about the process, more just the results and making sure everyone stays healthy. No Jamal Murray again tonight. And that's pretty much all you need to know. MPJ, career high in rebounds. Solid Nuggets game all around, even though they barely squeaked by the Spurs. And we're 17, 18 days out from the postseason, so it's getting real. 6 games left in the regular season for the Nuggets. Jake Shapiro, Denver Sports.
It's unlikely and more hopeful than anything, but if Denver can finish 6-0, there's a real chance the Nuggets can score that number 1 seed, which would be, of course, great. But the Nuggets were still without Jamal Murray, and now it's seeming more and more like he's not going to come back until the playoff. It was his 6th straight game that he missed. And then we have Nikola Jokic, who passes Carmelo Anthony for 3rd most points in franchise history, and he got here with 1,203 fewer shots than Carmelo. So Jokic's numbers last night were 42 points, 16 rebounds, and 6 assists. Now, the Colorado Rockies, they had another rough game from Kyle Freeland. 3.1 innings pitched, gave up 9 hits, 7 earned runs, and forgot to cover first base in the 3rd inning. Chris Bryant was 0-14 so far with 8 strikeouts this year and 16 at-bats after being back in the lineup on Monday. He was 0-2 on Tuesday, and is now 0-16 in the 5 games that he has played. They obviously end up losing 12-2, but they do play tonight against the Cubs at 5:40 p.m. Mountain Time. Now, just a little update for everybody that's paying attention to the Colorado Avalanche. Bednar did say that Nichushkin will meet the team in Minnesota and will try and play him on Friday at Edmonton. That would be great news for the Avalanche. They need him to make a play at the playoffs, essentially, for them to go anywhere. Personally, I think that he has to be out there. So hopefully he's feeling better. He was obviously at skate yesterday down here in Denver, and he was looking really good. Will Peterson and I talked about that yesterday on Coffee Break. So as always, I love to read your guys' comments and see what you guys are interested in. Diggs was kind of a crybaby, wasn't he? This is what everybody has been talking about when it comes to this trade. People are saying, oh, he's such a big personality. This is going to be terrible for Houston. This is going to be terrible for the Texans. And sometimes we all just need a little bit of a fresh start. And I do think that can possibly happen for Stefon Diggs. I do understand the fact that he, yes, is in fact a little bit of a crybaby, but I just think that Houston's doing all the right things. They needed a veteran wide receiver to go out there. I think that he can be really good. And I think it was time for the Bills organization to essentially just move on from Stefon Diggs and say, goodbye, we've appreciated your time here, but it's time. We weren't able to win anything with you. Let's see. Rachel, did you see Jokic has opened his lead in the MVP race according to the ESPN straw poll? Yeah, Jokic is going to win MVP. That's just what it's going to be. He's going to win it again. He should have won it last year. Let's be completely honest. Obviously, Embiid takes home that trophy, but they also got the NBA Finals trophy. So at the end of the day, the Larry O'Brien's definitely a little bit more important in this case than the MVP. And I feel like Jokic would say the exact same thing about this year. But yes, Jokic will in fact be taking home the MVP this year. I could place all my money on it that that's exactly what is going to happen. Let's see. Justin Jefferson to the Bills. Wouldn't that be interesting? Our producer, Joey, that you guys are all starting to know and love, he is a huge Vikings fan, so he is saying absolutely not on this one. I do think that one is actually really good. Last one we'll get to, women's NCAA hoops better, and ESPN should enjoy these ratings because next year, without Caitlin Clark, they will plummet again. I actually don't know if that's 100% true. I don't think that they will plummet. Will they possibly die off a little bit? Of course, because everybody is learning about Caitlin Clark and what she's doing. But who knows who's going to be the next Caitlin Clark, right? Nobody really talked about Caitlin Clark until this year. And I think next year there will be somebody. And I love that so many people are tuning in to the NCAA women's tournament. I think it's absolutely incredible for women's basketball in general. But those viewerships also need to transfer over to the WNBA, and I don't know if that will at any point happen. If they do, great, but it also will be interesting to see if Caitlin Clark goes and plays in the, what is it, like the Big Three or whatever it's called for that $5 million, and she decides not to go to the WNBA. So I'm going to be kind of curious to see what she ends up doing, and I know she said she's going to talk about that when the season comes to an end, but I do think it'll be kind of interesting. Will you follow the money or will you just follow the career path? Because let's be honest, people in the WNBA are not making a lot of money. That is going to do it for our episode of Denver Sports Daily today. Come hang out with Cecil Lammy and I at 12 p.m. Mountain Time. We are going to be talking about what other teams are the Broncos facing up against to possibly move up in the draft. And of course, if you know Cecil, then you know he's got all the secrets that are going on behind the scenes of who's looking to move where and which teams are really interested in who. So it'll be a great show. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, like, and hang out with us. Again, we go live every single day right here for Denver Sports Daily at 10 a.m., coffee break at 12 p.m. We've got podcasts covering all your favorite teams. And then we've got Orange and Blue every single weekday as well at 4 p.m. too. So with Cecil and Mace. Plenty of good stuff on this channel, and we appreciate you guys so freaking much. So have a wonderful Wednesday and get back to work, everybody. Bye.